What's up, everybody? My name is Roe Dunkley. I play Roe Sterling in the movie The Welder.
Hi everyone, my name is Camila Rodríguez. I play the role of Eliza in The Welder.
Hey, my name's Pico. I'm the Uber driver from the film The Welder.
Hey, my name is David Liz. I'm the director, co-writer, cinematographer, and editor of The Welder, and you are watching Kings of Horror.
So The Welder is a slasher horror film
The Welder is pretty much a color consciousness social film.
with Manny Delgadillo. I guess used to have nightmares because his dad was a welder, and so he wrote this movie with David Liz. And I don't want to give too much away, but there's a guy in a welding mask trying to kill you.
The Welder is a story about a young couple who go on a vacation, as you've seen other movies do, where things just don't turn out the way they expected.
Eliza, my character, she's gone through a lot of stuff, a lot of trauma, and she's a veteran. She went to war. She went through a lot in that process. She has a lot of trauma that she's holding into. My boyfriend, Ro, wants to, distract me and take me to a weekend vacation, and it just developed into this whole horror vacation.
My character is basically a really, really good source of comic relief. There's a lot of heaviness going on in the movie. There's a lot of big situations that are difficult talking points. So every now and then you need that loosen up. You need that breath of fresh air. And my character kind of does the job of playing that breath of fresh air and trying to figure out best ways to solve his issues in the movie.
And they are confronted with a mad scientist type figure who wants to cure racism by any means necessary. And as you know, a welder takes two pieces of metal and forges them together, so they're not two pieces anymore, they become one. And that's really what Dr. Godwin, played by the amazing Vincent DePaul, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to unite people, trying to bring them together in the most gruesome way possible.
It kind of, the first time I remember liking acting was when I was 7 years old in a play in my school that I was picked by accident. I was a very shy kid when I was growing up. And then I remember being in that play, and they were taking a couple of my classmates back to the class. And the teacher said, if you don't do a good job, you have to go back to class. So I was very shy, but I decided to okay, I'll do my best because I think I can do it. And I did, and I stayed in the play. So I remember realizing for the first time that I was good. I was a good actor, that I loved it.
How did I get involved with acting? Well, I've always been a narcissist, and I think I'm good at everything. So I just wanted people to pay attention to me. So I decided to, do some drama in high school and stuff. I used to do comedy sketches with David Liz back in the day. We had a YouTube channel called Miami Humor.
I wanted to sing. Oddly enough, I wanted to sing. And when I went to join a group, or attempt to not necessarily join a group, but they were a group of girls that were singing, and I wanted to learn how to sing with them. And the person who ran the group basically told me that I wasn't able to join because I wasn't a girl in school. It's called, well, say the name of the group, but I just wanted to learn how to sing. And I didn't have that opportunity.
My mom would buy me VHS tapes of my favorite cartoons, and then it evolved into movies, and I would watch these movies over and over and over again until the tape on the VHS would wear down, and I'd memorize the dialogue from some of my favorite films. And first I wanted to be an actor, and I did all the things you would expect as a kid. I entered drama, and I was in plays, and when I got a little bit older, I did extra work and worked on, since I'm from Miami, I did Spanish telenovelas for a little while. But really, as I progressed, I found that my true love was in storytelling, being behind the camera, and being able to direct or steer the way a story should go, I guess.
It was a secret until I was maybe 18 years old when it kind of came out to my mom. I come from, Latin family, which is, they're very focused in education and your career and all that stuff. So then I came out and there was a whole thing for my family. And I finished my nursing career. I'm a nurse as well. And she said, if it makes you happy, give me the diploma. That's, give it to me and then do whatever you want after. And that's what I did. I'm glad I finished my career as a nurse because I love my job as well. And then after I graduated from nursing school in 2013, then I just started right away doing plays and really getting into acting more professional for sure. And I haven't stopped since then, and I won't stop until I die. So.
So upon being turned down, I wouldn't have found a group of guys, 4 guys. I was the 5th one. We thought we were going to sing, and none of us could sing. So come to find out, 3 of us could dance, and 3 of them, I should say, could dance. I couldn't dance, and they taught me how to dance. We became exceptional dancers, an amazing dance team called Excel Dance and Hip Hop Productions. Was going for about a decade. We went to BET Wild Out Wednesday. We went all over the place. We've won talent shows everywhere. And that same group of girls that I was attempting to join actually joined our group. And we became a singing, dancing production and took over the world everywhere we went. We won California BET. From that, there was a girl group in the, there was a girl's dad in the dance group that was a photographer, and he asked me if I could be a musician because he's never shot any male subjects. Went ahead and did it, modeling for about a while. I had a 1-year contract. Upon the end of that contract, because it was a predominantly acting agency, upon the end of that contract is when I actually took on my first motion picture role because I was so afraid of it. I literally said, "What? You gotta walk around?" I stand still and I take photos. I don't do this walking around and talking thing. Gotta memorize lines. What is that? So, Burn Notice twice actually, and Iron Man 3 were my first introductions into acting. It was the last 2 months of my career, the last 2 months of my modeling and acting contract. So from there, I think the last 2 months is when I fell in love, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna be an actor, and this is exactly what I'm gonna do with my life. It was so much fun. I was on set. I got to dress up, move around, talk, interact. And I said, this is how I'm going to change the world. This is how I'm going to get back to the world.
I've done a few films, a lot of made-for-TV movies, like on Spanish channels and whatnot. A ton of sketches. I used to be a TV host. I'm a stand-up comedian. I basically just want you to love me, the audience. Please, just love me. Follow me on Instagram. I need more followers.
Well, I did a film around 2019 called Huracan. It was featuring the Miami Film Festival, and David went to the premiere. And according to him, he saw me in the film and he said, "Oh my God, we have to get to her." And he contacted me. He asked me if I wanted to do the casting. Of course, in my mind, it kind of happened like I won't be able to make it because I won't be able to take too many days off of work.
I've always wanted to make a feature film. From the time I graduated film school in 2011, my goal was always to make a feature film. I would work on all sorts of different productions, music videos, corporate videos, weddings, every kind of video, for several reasons. Number one, to make money and survive, but also to save money to be able to have a fund to be able to make a feature film, and also to make connections. This is a world where you're meeting all kinds of artists along the way, and that really did help, just being around these kinds of people, artistic people, investors, people that could help my vision come to life, and I could help their vision come to life. It was kind of like this beautiful mutual thing, right?
I told him like, hey, I don't know if I can commit to this because I might not be able to make it. And he said, just come, do the casting and we'll figure it out. So I went and did the casting, and that day he kind of like was talking to me like I was it, like talking to me about the project, about the storyline, about what Eliza is about and all these things. And I was like, okay, did I get the role? And he was like, if you can, yes. And it all worked out to the best. It was meant to be because I was able to be off of work. We made it work, and we were able to work together. So that was a really nice blessing that could happen. It was meant to be.
And over time, that sort of flourished and became more like the dream started to materialize. I guess that's the best way to put it. But my beginnings with the Welder really start in 2016 when I meet Manny Delgadillo, my co-writer, and him and I had a lot of same interests, especially in writing. And Manny is a literature major. He has a master's in it. And we started writing. We wrote like 3 or 4 scripts together. And then we realized, hey, we're too broke to produce any of these movies. So we decided we would make a script that we could afford to make ourselves on a shoestring budget, calling in all favors and just making it, making it work.
Well, I was just the Uber driver. Literally, I picked somebody up and they said, hey, you want to be in the movie? I'm kidding. That's not the truth.
So that's when we said, let's write this story. And then the Welder really came from, because we knew we wanted to tell a horror movie, a horror story. We love the horror genre. Manny and I have always been huge fans of horror. And we knew we wanted to tell a story that had like a social message. But then we had these limitations that we put on ourselves to keep the budget down. One location, no more than 7 or 8 actors, no more than 90 minutes, those kinds of things. And so putting boundaries on our imagination kind of helped us to be more creative when we were trying to formulate a story that we could afford to make, because we just didn't want money to be our barrier anymore. Like, oh, we don't have the money, we can't do a movie. No, hey, we're gonna make this movie no matter what. We just got to be creative about it. And that's really what the catalyst for the Welder was. We really just wanted to be able to make a feature film, tell a story, and do it to the best of our abilities within the scope, within our limitations. There's so many things that happened behind the scenes in the Welder, from 3 days before getting our car broken into and having a bunch of gear stolen, to 1 day before production, one of our cast members, one of the main protagonists, and I won't say who, gets arrested on their way into set, and we thought, oh my gosh, are we gonna have to recast this with 24-hour notice? And the day of production, the production van with all the gear in it wouldn't turn over, and we had to like quickly take everything out the van and put it into 3 sedans to drive it to set.
I was living in Atlanta at the time, and I came down, and when I first got to my hotel room, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were supposed to start shooting in a few hours. And I remember when I got to the desk to check in, the attendant, they handed me a note, a handwritten note. And I was like, oh, what's this? So I'm reading it, and I wish I had it in front of me, because of course this was 2019, but I have it in the room. It said, welcome to the hotel, Roe Dunkley. We're all here. We're all excited to see you. I'm excited to be here. Can't wait to get to work. It was a message from Vincent. And at this time, Vincent is the antagonist of our movie. He's Mr. William Gotham. You'll see. But it was a message from Vincent, and it really made me feel warm and accepted. It made me feel good. This is one of my first big feature films that I was the lead actor in. And to have so much responsibility to act with Vincent and Paul, who I've never had the opportunity to act with before, he made me feel very solid and warm and welcome within that note. I went upstairs that night and I was going to go over my lines, but for some reason I just said, I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to get this 3 hours that I can get.
It was a crazy, shoot. We were in Florida, in South Florida. It was like the middle of summer, so it was really hot and sweaty. I was just impressed with how cool the sets looked, how cool and realistic some of these body parts looked. I've known David for a while, and we've done a lot of videos together, so this was definitely, top-notch work for him. So I was just very impressed with all the gear, all the professionalism. It was a great film, and I'm happy that it's finally out so everybody can watch it.
I think the challenging part also was the heat, because we filmed in around August in Homestead, Florida, and it's super hot. It was really, really, really hot. And the house that we were able to shoot, it was like this 100-year-old house that had no AC in the second floor, and we had so many scenes upstairs. We had to take breaks because it was so hot and so humid, and we couldn't breathe almost. But I think I used that as part of the character and to make it work. Yeah.
We were in the middle of the summer, filming in the middle of the summer in South Florida. So we were close to 100 degrees almost every day, 100% humidity. So the sweat you see on the characters, that's real. The mosquitoes, man, they're more like birds. They're just huge. They zoom by you and you feel the breeze from their wings hit you in the face. It was a challenging production. Sleep deprived every single day, maybe 3 hours of sleep, because we were working 16, 18-hour days.
I think the social commentary that it follows, or the message that it has to the world, is actually, I think it came out at a better time. I think I should put it like that. I think it came out at a good time because a lot of the things that were happening in the world, a lot of the things that are now happening in the world, it feels like a lot of them have gotten deeper. We're fighting a lot of social causes. There are a lot of differences and changes we're trying to make in the world. And that was our idea with the movie. So to kind of have that idea and have that intention in 2019, I feel like it holds a heavier impact in 2023. Yeah.
It was interesting to see the film after Black Lives Matter, after George Floyd, after all these events. It happened. We did it before all of that, so it kind of was whoa, it just came out a couple last year, and then it was very recent with the events that we were dealing with. So it's up to the viewer to decide, I think, what the message is and how they feel about it. I hope people enjoy it. I hope they see it as they feel fit, I think.
This movie was written in 2019, but these things that we've been fighting have been around for decades, hundreds of years, maybe as long as humans have existed. Issues of racism, issues of mental illness, stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD in the military. These are all issues that we try to address.
We made a color consciousness film, and it's not like the world is slowed down. I mean, racism is still alive. I mean, we're still fighting for women equality, women's rights. And once you see the movie, you'll see that, Camila holds us with a strong female lead, and she really does her thing. And then me, Vincent, Dave, and Manny, we just bring home the workhorse with the rest of it, man. I mean, it's a very speak to today kind of film, because you can watch it, and from what we've gotten a mix of, we got a mix from some old school and some new school, which I'm really happy about. We're touching a lot of different people. I won't say anything give you any ideas on how to view anything. Watch it, check it out, but it does touch very strongly on today's social issues, things that are still going on now.
We wanted to tell a story. We wanted to bring a message into the horror genre. Just like the movie Get Out does, we liked that film, and we thought they did a great job bringing a social issue into a genre piece. And we felt, that was a great avenue for us to take as well, just because we want to have a message in our movies. We just didn't want it to be, there's a place for a film without a message, a film that you can just watch for its entertainment value, whatever that may be. It may be a slasher, it may be a gory piece, whatever it may be. But in our case, we wanted to, I love drama, I love thrillers, and I love telling stories about people. But then I also like horror. So how do we mix all these together? Our answer was The Welder.
I just want the viewer to enjoy the film, to see it with an open mind, to really receive the film as a suspense, as a thriller horror movie. I just want the audience to enjoy it, and the 90 minutes of the film, that they could just like be on it and enjoy it as much as they can. Really, that's my main goal, that people enjoy what we do.
I think like I want to break this into two answers. For the filmmaker watching this film, I want them to watch it and say, man, if they could do it for such a modest budget in such a short amount of time, then we can do it too. Like I want to, like for a long time I was scared of the feature film. I was intimidated by it. It's always just so far out of reach for me, because of the finances, because of the scope of it, all the pieces that need to come together. I always say making a film is like putting a puzzle together, but you have to make the pieces yourself. So I hope that any filmmaker that watches this is inspired and feels like they can make it happen if that's their dream, if they want to make it come true.
Change is constant. And we created this film based off of the impact that we wanted to create, off of racial inequality, color consciousness, gender inequality, women's rights. And there are so many different impactful cues inside of that horror movie that you will be able to pick up. And full circle what I'm saying, you realize that change is constant. You hear it all the time. But when it comes to the decades and centuries of racial inequality and gender inequality, we wonder why something so big, so pertinent, so imperative has still yet to kind of take that change. And I feel like that's the message that we wanted to send with this movie, or that's one of the messages that I should say I feel comes from this movie as well, because there are a lot of different messages and things that can be picked up, but upon change being constant, and a lot of the same things that we've been going through for hundreds of years are still kind of happening, just on a different kind of basis. I feel like that's one of the main things that I would like people to pick up from this movie.
Now, for the viewer who isn't a filmmaker, is just browsing Amazon or Tubi, and they come across The Welder, I hope that by the time they're finished watching it, they think, man, that was cool. That was an interesting concept. Sure, it's far out and it's crazy and it's not practical and it wouldn't work in the real world, but hey, how many times can you shoot Michael Myers in the head or put him on fire and he's still alive, and we choose to believe it, right? Suspension of disbelief is a real thing. And I think that at the end, I just want them to be like, that was cool. That was a cool movie.
I want the viewer just to watch it so we can make a second one, because when you see it and you see the ending, there's room for some more stuff, you know what I'm saying? Especially with the Uber driver. I'm upset that he didn't get enough lines.